Hello, friends. We're going to talk about a historical film, a true story today.
Not as interesting as the director, whose name is Scorsese.
Yeah. And the movie we're going to talk about is
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yes.
Now, this has been in the works for a while. I mean, I've been hearing about this movie, I think, forever. It's a $200 million film. And it's being co-produced by Apple and Paramount. So that probably means it's going to be in theaters and then it will be on Apple TV. That's what I'm assuming. Now they're starting to make those deals with filmmakers that the streaming is part of the release plan later.
Right.
So that, because everybody was getting very bent out of shape when everything was coming out at the same time. But at the same time, you cannot negate the power of the streamers because that's where a lot of people are watching movies now. They got used to it. So,
and you know, I have to say, I have been absolutely amazed by Martin Scorsese since I first became aware of him. Everything he's done has got this filmmaking presence to it. I mean, the guy is like in the embodiment of filmmaking, and his body of work is just, it's incredible that one person has done that. And I mean, the first time I ever became aware of him was when I saw Taxi Driver on HBO. Yeah. And I'm still sort of processing that experience.
It holds up. That movie holds up.
And here he is all these years later, and he's kind of getting up there in age. Yeah. But this movie, Killers of the Flower Moon, looks like a really ambitious I mean, I don't mean this in this way, but it looks like a young person's movie. You know what I mean? Like a young, full of energy, ambitious young filmmaker would have taken on something of this scale. This is massive scale, and but you know, it's like he's fearless.
I don't know. It's set in the 20s. The young people care about the 20s.
Yeah, who cares what young people care about?
This shit what they hear. Anyway.
That's what I mean.
Historical drama. You can see all the young people leaving right now.
Yeah. The only thing they forgot to do is make it in black and white and give it subtitles.
Exactly.
To scare the laughs of the audience away. But no, I think he's beyond that. You know, I think his name attached to something is going to get people to watch it.
He is prestige filmmaking, the definition, because when Scorsese has a film coming out, it's like an event. Doesn't matter where it's streaming or if it's on theater, wherever it is. When you hear it's a Scorsese, it's like, where? Yeah. Shine me up. Where is it? I mean, some of my favorite films are still his movies. I mean, Goodfellas.
Yeah.
That movie is perfect. So good. Oh my God. Yeah. So it's like he does so many iconic films, like not even just good films, iconic films. Raging Bull, like, you know, Goodfellas. I mean, so many great films in his list of achievements. And so I'm assuming, considering what this topic is, it's a really relevant topic. It's important. It has one of the best actors in the world in it, as he is in many of his films. Yeah. Really excited to see this. It's based on a book.
Robert Downey Jr. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, the Robert Downey Jr. I'm talking about Nicolas Cage. We all know it's Nicolas Cage. And who's kidding? But there are some good actors in this also. Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, another iconic actor. Yeah. Lily Gladstone, she's been in a few things, but this is going to be just launch her into the stratosphere. Jesse Plemons, who always loves seeing and everything. Yeah. John Lithgow, like so many great actors in this. So I'm excited to see it. Let's take a look.
Well, he's one of those directors again who, I mean, if you're an actor and your phone rings and it's Martin Scorsese and he starts to tell you about the film, you're like,
don't need to know.
You don't have to, yes, I'm in.
I'll sign. Send me the contract.
Nobody's going to turn that down. Yeah. You know, it's well, send me a script, Martin. Let me see if I can decide whether or not I want to do it.
I'm going to have to read the script before I start to do a Scorsese film. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, he only gets the A-list cream of the crop actors. He's got incredible cinematographers. I mean, the guy is a class act. So I'm very excited to see this. Definitely a big screen movie. There's no way I'm not going to see this on the big screen. So let's take a look.
Shall we roll that trailer?
Let's roll it.
And
sorry, hold on. Shit.
Me to mark it again.
Hold on. Okay, here it is. Okay, sorry. Yes.
Whose land is this?
My land.
Well,
Well, well, well, our war hero has arrived.
You made a good choice coming back here. Osage are the finest, wealthiest, and most beautiful people on God's earth. They outsmarted everybody.
They have the say. Who gets the oil?
Son, I got a question. You like women?
That's my weakness.
Well, we mix these families together, and that estate money flows the right direction. It'll come to us.
Scorsese. That's how you are.
I don't know what you said, but it must have been Indian for handsome devil.
Why did you come here?
I work with my uncle.
You scared of him?
Oh, he's the nicest man in the world.
The Osage.
Their time is over. We got to take back control of our home.
I was sent down from Washington, D.C. to see about these murders.
We have so many deaths we've lost count.
It's just bad luck.
Seems more like an epidemic than bad luck to me.
Osage is dying by the enemy. Do not let them die alone.
Evil surrounds my heart.
You gotta pick a side.
I don't even know if you love me anymore.
Of course I love you.
And kill these men who killed my family.
Did your wife say who she was most afraid of?
Don't do something you're gonna regret for the rest of your life.
I ain't got nothing but regret.
Heavy stuff. Yeah.
Best thing ever. You know, it's funny. I've seen the evolution. We didn't actually cover this the earlier trailers yet, but the earlier ones were a little bit more calm and more artsy, like almost more like a relationship with her. Like, but they're like, people want this from Scorsese. They want the criminal aspect. They want the beautiful action, the incredible, elegant, beautiful sets that were designed for a certain time frame. Robert De Niro. Just
Robert De Niro in
great.
recent years, to be honest, is kind of a bit hit or miss, sometimes. But when he gets together with Martin Scorsese, that's when that's when they're both kind of at their. They have a chemistry with each other, the director and the actor. There's something when Robert De Niro works with other directors that isn't there when
they don't get it.
There's something, yeah. And with The Irishman was the last, I think, big film that Scorsese did with De Niro, and that was like, I was like, okay, Martin De Niro.
Yeah, but those two names together.
Robert De Niro can still bring it, and you see that with him when he works with Martin Scorsese. It's something happens there.
It does. Like every scene in this short trailer, anytime Robert De Niro came on, it was like almost like lights came on, like it was like star power. And he is opposite Leonardo DiCaprio, who's another one of the best actors in the world. Those two in the same movie together like this with a Scorsese, I feel the theater is going to explode.
Yeah,
so good.
I get a little troubled too when I first watch this and I start hearing those accents a little bit. I'm like, Robert De Niro doing a sort of, I guess it's sort of a Southern style accent, and it's kind of a version. I think what they were going for was that sort of period accent that you hear in old recordings, I guess, where they hear the people talking and they speak in a certain clipped way in the olden days, and I think they were trying to go for that without being too jarring. Because if you do a film about certain historical figures and you actually have the characters talking the way people talked in those days or the way we hear them on recordings, it's a little weird sounding. So you have to reach a medium somewhere.
Yeah,
And
true.
that's always kind of troubling when I hear somebody that we associate so much with like a New York accent or a California accent or whatever,
Yeah.
doing these kind of Southern style accents, or period
I didn't
accents.
mind it. I thought they kind of pulled it off. I mean, granted,
Yeah,
you're
you
right.
get used to
This
it.
is in the 20s. It's going to sound, I think he's treading a fine line of not being too precious about it, but
Right.
then it's still kind of there because you don't want it to be too much about accents. They're leaning into it a little bit, but not maybe fully 100%, but just enough that we're seeing like a modern take on, a 1920s event. The whole racism of it, the
Right.
evil white people stealing from Native Americans. I mean, we all know who we're rooting for in this movie. It's not going to be Robert De
Part of
Niro.
history. But
No, exactly.
Martin Scorsese
So-
did this sort of accent issue with his Last Temptation of Christ. Remember that?
Probably his
Where he-
worst film, I think.
One of them, yeah. And part of it, I think maybe he learned something from it where he had, Harvey Keitel was like Harvey Keitel, and I mean, we don't know what it sounded like in those days, of course, especially with a language like Aramaic or whatever they were.
Well, it didn't sound like that.
But it probably didn't sound like Harvey Keitel's New Yorkish accent.
Yeah.
And a lot of people focused on that with that movie. They were like, oh, here's this kind of, Harvey Keitel sounds like he did in in whatever movie, and it's a thing that I imagine they really have to work on that. And in this one, it sounds like something I'm probably going to get used to after the film starts. You're going to get into the vibe of it, the feel, the sound, and it just looks really super powerful and maybe not a very pleasant movie.
No, but the usual,
need to know
beautiful production. I mean, this is gonna be A-list all the way, so definitely gonna see this, definitely in the theater. Let us know what you think in the comments about this film, or maybe what your favorite Scorsese film is. You have a ton to choose from. Let us know what that is, and check in next time and be sure we'll do a review for this for sure, and be sure and check it out. All right.
And I don't want to sound like I'm obsessing over the accents with this. It really does. It really is an important story, and it looks beautiful. I mean, his Gangs of New York went into this period thing. He's really good at that. I think he studies the old photographs and really tries to make sure that you feel like you're in those times, in those places. And that's what I think this film is going to be. It's going to be an immersive experience. And I think you're going to get a feel for this, the horror of this part of history and this kind of stuff that certain politicians in recent times are trying to cover up this kind of thing and trying to take the teaching this out of schools and make it like it never happened, but it happened, and we need to know about it so that we don't repeat this kind of thing.
That's right. And just see a really cool movie at the same time.
Yeah. Beautiful,
all right.
Beautifully made film by a master.
That's right. He's a genius. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.